So not only by buying your first rental property can you house hack and live in the property and get other people to pay for it, but you can eventually get to passive income. You can eventually get yourself out of the rat race by owning enough of these rental properties. You can build wealth. This is a proven wealth builder. Like anybody who's ever become a millionaire either does it through real estate or at least buys real estate once they've got the millions and they want to hold on to it. This can be you. It doesn't just have to be for the rich guy. One thing I'd like to say about why invest in your first rental property before we move on to the next part of this is through house hacking, you can go out and afford a bigger house, and you can find something where you live in one piece and rent out the other portion of the house and let your tenants pay for your house. You do a couple of things. You become a real estate investor, you become a homeowner, and you let someone else pay down that mortgage for you. So you're creating wealth. It's a beautiful way to become financially free. So the first thing that I'm going to tell you that you need to do is research your market. This is a theme in a lot of our videos, guys. You need to pick an area that you want to live in or that you want to invest in and go out there and become an expert on your market. You don't have to have a big education. You don't have to have a real estate license. You don't have to have a college degree to do this. Simply get in your car, start driving around, look at the houses that are for sale, pull them up on Zillow, call the realtors and ask them about the properties. What are they selling for? What are they? Learn as much as you can about this stuff by looking at your small area. We'll call it a farm area, where you can become an expert on everything that's for sale in that neighborhood. You know what things are for sale for, what a house that is at the top of the market looks like, what a house that's at the bottom of the market looks like. You'll be able to determine things like how much do these houses rent for. There's so much information you can learn by getting up off of the couch, putting your phone down and going out, driving around and looking at real estate and educating yourself, guys. So here's what you're looking for when you're driving around. You want to know what the property prices are. You want to know what the trend of the real estate is. Is it going up? Is it going down? That's the trend. You want to know what the rental rates are in the neighborhood. So if you're going to buy a rental property, you're going to want to know what that property can rent for. Let me give you a real life example of one that we just did with a partner from our YouTube channel, and he's also in our school community. We sold a house to Justin, and Justin bought a property that we had as a rental property for a long time. He bought it for $135,000. The property needed a little bit of work. It was really easy for him to go in and fix it up and get it ready to rent. So it's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath on the top floor, a 3-bedroom, 1-bath on the second floor, and a 1-bedroom, 1-bath on the bottom floor. Both of the top 2 floors should rent for $750 a month, maybe even a little bit more. And then the bottom unit's going to rent for about $500 or $550 a month. So he's going to get $2,000 a month to $2,050 a month once the place is fully rented out. He paid $135,000 for it. And oh, by the way, we did a seller finance deal. So we'll talk about how you can fund these things later in the video. So you want to stay tuned for that. But in this example, Justin bought this house for $15,000 down, and he's spending another few $1,000s sprucing the house up so that he can get it rented out. So on the deal that Justin did with us, his payment to us as the bank, or his payment to the bank, however you want to look at it, is $900 a month. If he can bring in $2,000 a month, he can pay $900 a month. He makes an $1,100 a month cash flow. That's a pretty tremendous return on his first rental property in Puerto Rico. What do you guys think of that? Comment below. Would you do that deal? Setting a budget, guys. When you're looking at buying your first rental property and you know what's a good deal and you know what the cash flow is going to be, there are going to be costs that you're not thinking about yet, and I want to go through some of them. You're going to have taxes that you need to pay. You're going to have insurance that you need to pay. And there's going to be maintenance on the property. Anytime that you've got a rental property and you're the owner and you're the landlord, you have to take care of the property. So if the toilet blocks up, you've got to send the plumber out and you've got to pay for that. When you're budgeting what's going to happen, go back to the example of Justin's house. He's got $1,100 a month to work with. He needs to set aside a portion of that money for repairs. Let's say 10% a month. So a little over $100 a month, he sets aside for repairs for the year. And then he can also know what are the taxes going to cost him and what's the insurance going to cost him and set that aside. And let's say those are each $200 a month. Now, Justin's setting aside $500 a month. He's still got a $600 a month cash flow on this rental property. So the next step now is you've got your budget, you know where your money's going to go, and you figured out what your cash flow is. You're going to be able to calculate from that, what are you going to earn off of this rental property? Obviously, you want to buy rental properties that are going to pay all of the bills and hopefully leave something on top for you. In the case of Justin, he invested with us $15,000 down. He pays $900 a month, and he's going to collect, hopefully, $2,000 to $2,050 a month after he's got it fully rented. Now, that means after his taxes and insurance and maintenance, he's got $600 a month left over. That's what he can actually put in his pocket and go buy dinner with and go eat on. And that's what he's got. And that's what you would look at to calculate your cash on cash return. Or if he's like me, he can immediately reinvest all of those profits so he can build that wealth down the road and use the money to buy the next property and then the next and let it stack up until you've got significant revenues coming in. And then he could quit his job, get out of the rat race, really do something different, live life differently than most of the people do. So be fanatical about investing your money. That's my point here. Hey guys, all of this stuff in theory is really good, but how do you actually get the money to do it? So going back to Justin's example, he used a method called seller financing. So we set it up so that he brought some money to the table and we're the bank. And that's a great option. If you can do your first investment property using seller financing or buying sub 2, these are amazing ways that you can get into the real estate game with very little money, using other people's money, in fact, and get that sweet, sweet cash flow and eventually turn it into passive income. Let's assume, though, that you're not able to negotiate seller financing because not everybody will sell it to you with seller financing. You can use FHA loans. You can use hard money loans. There are partnerships that you can make out there. So inside of our community on School, we've got a whole bunch of like-minded real estate investors and entrepreneurs who are looking to invest in real estate, and they're just waiting for you to find the deal of a lifetime and bring it to the group and then do a deal. So there's a whole bunch of ways that you can find the money. One of the biggest excuses that we hear day in and day out is that I can't be a real estate investor because I don't have any money. We've all thought it. I've probably even had those thoughts that I couldn't do something because I didn't have the money. It's an excuse, guys. It's not real. Money always finds a great deal. If you can go out and find one of these deals that's going to cash flow like Justin did, you can find somebody who would do the seller financing, or you could find somebody who would partner with you. You could find an FHA loan. There are lots and lots of ways for you to go out and get the money and use other people's money to become a real estate investor. That's why real estate investing is so powerful, because anybody can do it. It's easy to leverage. This is just a beautiful way to get outside of the rat race and to do something different that most people will never do. Most people will have the thought that they don't have any money and that they can't do it, and they'll be absolutely right. There's so many excuses. Guys, don't get caught up in these excuses. Don't believe those lies. Change that mindset. How can you figure this shit out? We're telling you. Just real quick, some of the ways that you can borrow money for these rental properties: traditional financing, hard money loans, private money loans. They're slightly different. They're about the same. You can do partnerships, and you could do seller financing, or even buy things subject to. There's 6 that I just rattled off the top of my head, guys. There are way, way more. If we haven't already gone over this, we want to talk about evaluating real estate properties. This is what I encourage everybody to do when you're learning your farm area. Go out there and look and see what's for sale. Look at the stuff that's in good shape. It should be selling at the top of the market. Look at the stuff that's in bad shape. Decide where you want to be, how much work you want to put into it. Evaluating properties is key. So as a real estate investor, you make your money when you buy it. And that doesn't matter if you're doing a wholesale deal, a buy, fix, and flip deal, or keeping rental properties. You make your money when you buy it. The better deal you get, the easier it is to find the money, the better it's going to cash flow. All of the good things happen because you go find the deal of a lifetime. And you need to be looking at lots and lots of real estate, guys. You've got to evaluate tons of real estate. Throw out all of the really top of the market stuff. You don't want to be buying that stuff anyways. If it doesn't have some problems, if it doesn't have some distress, that's not real estate investing. You don't want to be buying that stuff. You want to buy the stuff at the bottom of the market. Fix it up. Take over and fix somebody's problems, or take over problems and solve those problems. So find someone who's a tired landlord. Find someone who's going through a divorce. There's lots of ways that people get themselves in trouble and are in distress, and you can solve problems as a real estate investor. That's what we're here for, guys. We want to teach you to do that. The bigger the problem you solve, the more money you'll make. In real estate investing, you make your money when you buy.